I like to get nerdy every now and again on this channel, and that's what we're going to do today. Take a trip to Nerdsville and turn the nerdometer up to 11.
Girls on the beach.
I get a lot of comments on my videos, and I really appreciate that. Every now and again, though, a comment will come along which makes me want to do a video about that comment. And that's what's happened in this particular case. So I want to say a big thank you to my viewer, Electra Jojo, for sending in the comment that led to this video, which, as you can probably tell, is going to be about the song Fort Lauderdale Chamber of Commerce, the introduction of which we just heard. It's a very basic introduction. You've just got 4 bars of guitar strumming before Elvis comes in. And I think he's just playing a D chord, then an A7th, then back to D and back to A7th, and then Elvis comes in. Now, apparently there was a problem with the introduction on American albums, early American albums, and that was what the comment was about from Electra Jojo. So let's have a look at what this comment says first of all then. This person writes, "A splice can clearly be heard that causes a piece of the guitar intro to be missing." Okay, so what that comment means is he's referring to, he or she is referring to the last chord just before Elvis comes in. If you listen closely to the American original LPs, it sounds a bit jerky, as though there's a split second of music missing, and it does indeed sound like it was a bad splice. So what this person has asked me to do is to listen to my Japanese LP and any other American LP that I have. So let me tell you what I've got and what we're going to be listening to. I've got an American mono pressing from Rockaway. I've got another American pressing from Indianapolis. So between this person and me, we've got all 3, Indianapolis, Rockaway and Hollywood. I've got a mono UK copy. I've got a stereo UK copy. These are original ones. I've got a 1980 UK copy, mastered by the legendary Boppin' Bob Jones. This is the one that I listened to growing up, the lime green RCA International label version. And Electra Jojo asked me if I had an original Japanese LP. I can go one better than that because I've actually got the test pressing, original Japanese test pressing. And I've also got the last, very late Japanese SHP pressing with the same catalogue number as the previous one. This one's from 1973. And then finally, I've got an American orange label pressing from the early 70s. Right, so let's have a listen to what we can hear at the beginning of all those albums, starting with a mono pressing American version. All right, so that was an American mono pressing from, I guess it's from 64. Hopefully you can hear there just at the end of the introduction there, that slight jarring, sort of jerky split second or so, where the guitar seems to be either played very badly or the engineer's done a bad splicing job. So that was the American mono one. Let's move on to another one. Okay, so that was the UK original in mono. And again, you can hear that slight problem there with the guitar. It just doesn't sound quite right. There's just a split second there where something's going wrong. Let's have a listen to a stereo copy, and again, you'll hear something very different this time.
Girls on the beach.
Right, that sounded quite different, didn't it? Well, that was actually the UK stereo copy from 1965. And what we were listening to is basically just the sound coming out of this speaker here, which was the guitar suddenly much quieter than on the mono version, but also this time you could hear the bass, which you can't really hear on the mono version. It's also quite noisy coming out of this speaker here. Maybe that's because they pushed up the bass. But you can still hear that strange little split second, something not being quite right there in the fourth bar. Let's have a listen to another copy.
Girls on the beach.
Right, now that was the copy that I listened to when I was growing up, which is the early 80s UK RCA International pressing. But again, you can hear not only the noise coming out of the left channel, the very quiet guitar, and you can hear the bass, but you can still hear that problem with the guitar in the fourth bar. So, by the way, let's have a listen to the right speaker. We've just been focusing on the left speaker here. In the stereo versions on the right speaker, you can just hear the guitar. So let's have a listen to the right speaker, again using this 1980 UK copy. That problem with the guitar intro is much easier to hear when you can just hear the guitar, as we heard now with the right speaker there. But what's interesting is that the problem was not only there on the original UK versions, it was still there in 1980. So whether they ever made a UK pressing without that problem, I'm not sure. Anyway, let's move on to the Japanese versions. We're going to be listening now to this test pressing from Japan. So once again, you can hear that sounds very similar to the UK stereo copy. The guitar is quiet, the bass is audible, and there's some noise going on there in this left channel. And still, you've got that problem there with the fourth bar of the guitar intro. So Electra Jojo, if you're watching, I think that answers your question about the Japanese pressing. Yes, they did get the faulty version, just as they did in America. But evidently they got that one in the UK too. I haven't got a sample for my other Japanese copy here from 73, but I can tell you it's exactly the same. So they continued to use the same tapes for the Japanese version. However, I've got one more version to play you. Let's have a listen to that. All right. There's no problem with that one. That sounds fine, doesn't it? Well, what is that one? Well, that is this American copy from, I don't know, about 1971, I guess. It's the orange label. I'll put a picture of the label up on screen. It's taken from this particular album. So that one is fine. So at some point in America, they actually changed, somebody spotted the mistake and they fixed it. And Electra Jojo told me that they have a 1976 American pressing with the black label, and that one is obviously also okay. Let's have a listen to one more example of the intro. This is the Double Features CD intro.
Girls on the...
All right, so the Double Features CD sounds just fine, doesn't it? At least as far as the guitar strumming goes. It's a little bit noisy. The guitar's still a bit quiet, but you can hear the bass. So what seems to have happened then? Well, the American early pressings, they had this problem with the guitar strumming there, as did the Japanese and the UK ones. I don't know if they were ever fixed in either Japan or the UK, but we can hear that in America, at least, the problem was fixed by the early 1970s on vinyl. And at least all the CDs that I have, on all the CDs I have, it sounds just fine, the introduction. So I think we've made some headway there regarding when the problem went away, but I'm still not actually sure what the problem is. When I used to listen to this album as a kid, like I say, my copy was an RCA International copy on which you can hear that slightly strange strumming in the introduction. And I think I just thought that it was not very well played. However, on CD, you can't find that version anymore with that awkward playing or awkward strumming. So does that mean, in fact, it was a bad splice, like my viewer suggested. Having said that, I can't find any information regarding any splicing going on with that song. I've checked the the recording data on the Keith Flynn website, for example, and there's just no information on there about anybody splicing the introduction. But I can't think of any other explanation, either badly played or badly spliced. If anybody has any information about this or any other theories as to what happened, please let me know in the comments section below. But I think that's about enough Fort Lauderdale Chamber of Commerce for one video. But thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Cheers.